Yo everyone, today I'm going to show you an absolutely stunning game played between high-class chess engines. Ethereal has the white pieces and Leila Chess Zero sits in the other corner. It was a blitz game, so even though they can beat Magnus Carlsen very easily, their moves are not perfect. So it started with d4, knight f6, c4, d6, already slightly rare, knight c3, knight bd7, e4, e5, old Indian defense. Not the most typical way to play, because usually in this opening the bishop goes to e7 and it's a slightly passive there. Knight f3, c6, bishop e2, and now Leela took on d4. Very rare move in human games, and for a good reason. It helps white develop, and then d6 will be weak, and the only way to get rid of that weakness would be to play d5 at some point, which is just going to be very difficult to achieve. And I think the reason why she took on d4 is because she really dislikes giving the option for white to, at some point, to play d5 to get more space and limit black's pieces. Anyway, that was her option, and we need to respect that. g6. Now black wants to put his bishop to a more active square, but that means d6 will be very weak, and white immediately puts more pressure there. At c5, f3, knight h5. This move might puzzle you a little bit, because black is moving the same piece twice. But the problem was that if bishop g7, white can immediately attack d6. And if black wants to defend it, she would have to go back, thus losing time. So knight h5, bishop e3, bishop g7, g3, stopping all queen h4 ideas. a5, black is trying to find some kind of counter chances, because if this continues, white will just win the d6 pawn, and it's gonna be very difficult. Queen d2, a4, long castle, queen e7, another strange move, but if black castled, white would have a tactical idea. Take on c6, and white uses the pin to his advantage. So black avoided that idea with queen e7, but with g4, knight f6, now white puts even more pressure on d6, so it's gonna be very difficult to defend it. So black played bishop takes g4, sacrificing her bishop for 2 pawns, but honestly it's quite desperate. And queen e3, strange move. Humans would almost never play this slow move. And normal human idea would be to just take on g4 immediately, or play, for example, the knight to b5, then white can take on d6. This slow move, queen e3, is just very difficult for humans, because you have to calculate so much to make sure that it works. But also, it doesn't mean queen e3 is the best move. It's just another option. And black just continues giving away his bishop, because if black tries to move his bishop away, now white has to do a counter punch and sacrifice his knight. And if black takes it, the problem is that now the knight on c5 will drop and the black king will stay in the center. So black made sure that her king is safe, and white took the piece. And black tries to loosen up the queen side a little bit. And now black has 2 pawns for the piece, so it's not enough. And white even continues putting more pressure using the pin. It's just very annoying for black. But right now, Leela came up with the brilliancy. A move already it uses like just a stunning idea. If I ever get to play such a move, I would be a very happy man, even in correspondence. But so far in my whole career, I have never been able to find a moment to move a move like this. Knight takes on c3, sacrificing a whole queen for just 3 pawns. Outstanding. That's all I can say. And it's kind of difficult to explain. Where does the compensation come from? Well, one is that the bishop on g7 is very strong, the pawn on a3 is close to queening, and the king is very, very weak. But still, as usual, white is better, but black has chances. King b1, a normal move. My stockfish suggested actually playing king d2, going to the center, sacrificing the knight, but somehow the white king on d2 is actually safer. On p1 it got to some kind of trouble because the pawn pushes to a2 with tempo, and the king would have to go then to p2 and then it would on the diagonal. So that's why computer preferred king d2. Anyway, king b1 was made, a greedy move, but also very normal. Knight b4. If some of you thought, hey, why not knight c3? Winning an exchange, well, I have news for you. White is up a queen, and the more material you exchange, the easier you make it for white. That's why black has to keep up all the pressure. White went back to defend b3 and d4. a2, logical play, but actually maybe a mistake because this gives white one more opportunity to defend one idea. That's why black actually maybe should have played knight e6 immediately, keeping white's options limited. With this hasty check, white has one extra move. Takes on d6, c5, white has to give up the bishop, and now king c3. The king is an attacking piece. The knight has to go back, but amazingly, black still has amazing chances left. The king is still left pinned, the pawn is almost promoting, and there's just no way, no easy way for white to release the tension. White tries to block the d file, and black immediately attacks the bishop. White logically steps away from the pin. Now knight is maybe coming to b4, so white goes away, but unfortunately now it's pinned again. White could also go to d2, but it would still be in the center. It would still be attacked. There's just no safe haven for the white king. Knight c7, rook d2, making space for the rook on h1. d5, g3, knight b4. Knight is coming to c6, using the pin again. Rook a1, now white hopes to win the a2 pawn at some point. d8 has to defend the knight on d4. Knight c6, and white continues defending the knight. If white actually tried to make a practical decision and give away some material to make the game easier with, for example, rook takes a2, unfortunately black still has tactical ideas left. Knight takes d4, king b1, and now knight e2, and knight c3 is coming. And white could go to the rook endgame, but unfortunately g4, h2 are weak, and black is up a pawn, so it's still not easy to defend. The same with if you take with the king, still the bishop is just very strong. It's not easy to defend. So white just defended the knight on d4. Black took. Black just makes some moves. Rook a8. And white tucks the king in the corner, stopping the promotion. The problem is, how is the king ever getting out? How is the rook on d4 ever getting out of this pin? And the answer is, there is no way. There is no easy way for white to get out of this position. But also, it's actually very difficult for black to make progress. So both sides actually now shuffle moves for a very long time, trying to find some kind of weakness. But it is difficult. And rook c2, again, white can't take the rook because there's gonna be a surprise mate. Kaboom! White instead attacks f7. Black steps away. You can't take on f7 because the rook hangs. So I just again just keep shuffling, making some moves. Both sides have trouble continuing. I mean, this is just typical engine play. Humans really don't play like this. Humans would maybe just agree to draw or make logical continuing moves, or they wait in a very simplistic manner, just doing the same move over and over again. They never make moves like this. And taking on h6 also was, I guess, an ambitious play. If I wanted to draw, he could just keep the position as it is, and it's just a draw. And instead he took rook h1, b6, goes back again. White can't find any idea, also black. And h5 is a strange move, because now after g5, black has two passed pawns, and at some point they might promote. Rook h1, defending h5, rook c3. If now actually black could try g4, try to promote this pawn immediately, but white can save himself with sacrificing the queen. Take on g4, h5, and the reason why this doesn't work for black is because the white king, funnily enough, is stalemated, so white can sacrifice the rook. So black wants more than that, so he waits with his g4 idea, moves the rook away, so now if white ever sacrifices the queen, the white king on a1 is not stalemated. Queen d8, and this was a fatal mistake. The queen on d5 was perfect, controlling all the squares, and now black can make some progress. But honestly, it was actually quite difficult to defend. For human, it would be probably impossible because you have to be very accurate. So rook f3. Now this is possible. g1, g4, one check. Unfortunately, it's not enough. And now the pawn is just going to promote. And white can't find any other way to defend than to give up the queen. Unfortunately, this endgame It's just lost for white. Black is going to promote the f5 pawn. And black doesn't even have to play the best moves. Rook b5 is just the typical Lila chess zero move. She always has trouble finding the most efficient moves to win the game. And now, finally, white resigned. Absolutely a brilliant game. I hope to one day play a game like this. Let's see what the future will tell me. Hopefully. Thanks for watching.